Okay, so there's been breaking news in the last few hours. It's now about coming up to 2 a.m., around about 2 a.m. UK time. There has been a terrorist attack at Ataturk Airport in Istanbul. Um, the reports are suggesting as many as 36 people may have been killed, and inevitably, with a major terrorist attack, there's going to be a lot of people injured as well. According to Al Jazeera, Istanbul Ataturk Airport is the third busiest in Europe. Presumably that's after Heathrow and Charles de Gaulle or Frankfurt. Um, it's a busy airport. There isn't a great deal to say about this, except that the people of Turkey have really been through a lot in the last sort of year and a half. There was a major bombing at Ankara last year with all the young people killed. There's been other attacks in Ankara. There's been other attacks in Istanbul. This attack certainly looks to be on the scale of Brussels, um, and the circumstances are very similar. It's an attack on an airport. Way too early to say who's responsible. Erdogan is already naming ISIL as the culprit, so I'm not sure how he's getting that intelligence so early on, but it's not far fetched. Um, in developments in the region, incidentally, a few days ago, Erdogan apologized to Vladimir Putin over the shooting down of the Russian plane. So that's an interesting development on that front. Regarding ISIS, it seems that they are being pushed into a corner in both Syria and Iraq. Heavy fighting continues in both countries. So whether they're sort of being pushed in that corner and then they're moving into Turkey, it's hard to tell. Turkey, of course, has this ongoing war with the PKK, which has been particularly bloody in the last 2 years. Um, Regardless of all of that, regardless of all the politics, we have to consider here that this is just innocent men and women being caught up in this carnage. And inevitably, because it's an airport, this is what terrorists do. They try to cause as much disruption as possible. So my heart goes out to all the victims, and I hope those injured pull through. And I think we should be thinking about Turkey right now, and in particular Istanbul. The whole point of terrorism is to terrorize, is to cause instability. Istanbul's a major city. It's straddled between two continents. It's no stranger to terrorism, of course. It's been targeted before by Al Qaeda. In 2003, there was a major attack there. There's been numerous attacks in recent years and months. So it's no stranger to terrorism, but this does look like a large scale attack. Um, Airports have been attacked before, like I say, Brussels earlier this year, and back in 2010, Domodedovo Airport in Moscow was attacked. Back in 2007, Glasgow Airport in the UK. So airports have been targeted before. 1985, Vienna and Rome airports were targeted, I believe. So airports are a big hub. It's very difficult to tell how you can really improve security because terrorists are very often focused on planes themselves, but they now realize that it's harder to get bombs onto planes, therefore they're targeting natural departure area. If you have a situation where you have, say, a security at the point where people go through into the departure area, it's still not going to solve this problem because then you'll have people congregating outside. The sad fact of life is, wherever you have large crowds of people is a potential terrorist target. In less than 2 weeks, we've got the Rio de Janeiro Olympics. So, there's major sporting events. Wherever there is large groups of people, there is a potential terrorist target. I take the view that countries, nations, and people should not let terrorists disrupt their daily lives. One thing I was proud about London is after the 7/7 bombs, Londoners went back to normal. The tube was running the next day. I think that is the right approach to deal with terrorists. What they want to do is destabilize society. I've just been watching a documentary about David Copeland. He was a far right nail bomber who killed three people in London in 1999 over a protracted period. And that caused, great fear and anxiety because he was always targeting at weekends, but at different locations. We can't say that terrorists are predictable exactly where they'll strike because, to be honest, everywhere is a target. We do have to put things in context. Many other things cause a lot more deaths than terrorism. Road accidents, cancer, heart disease, all these things cause more deaths than terrorism. but I think terrorism is particularly vicious because we know it is man-made. So I'm going to round this up now, but this is the breaking news. I may make an update as the situation develops, but it certainly is the most serious attack for a while in Turkey, but sadly not the first such attack. Too early to say who's responsible, but ISIS isn't a far-fetched possibility.